about you, but when I was a kid, I loved writing stories and I loved imagining, and that was my way to escape my extremely violent and oppressive home, especially in school, and especially when it was called upon. And I loved wowing the kids with my imaginary stories, and they loved hearing them. And so, imagination is so important. I remember I used to, especially in Bible story, Bible class, I used to be like, "So, what do you think about the last three sentences we read?" And I would give the teacher a whole story of it, and she would look at me and she'd be like, "Wow, that sounds really good. That kind of sounds like it can be an option for what it is." Because the Bible is like multi-interpretational, like it's open for interpretation. It's the whole point of it being coded. And then she would have to say, "But sorry, the Department of Education wants me to teach you this and this and this. But your story was really good. Thank you for sharing that. Even though it wasn't the right answer, it was an interesting one." And so, thank God I had great teachers who always kept me, and sometimes even told me, like, "You have a wide imagination. Like, that was too much. You went out there." And I was like, I loved going out there because this is what I would do. I love daydreaming, and for many years, people think like, "Ah, you live in your own imagination, you imagine stuff." But let me tell you something: if you are watching and following the law of attraction, it's all about imagination. Imagination is like a hologram room. If you ever watched Star Trek, it's like a space where you can go and see things, and these things, just like I said, your own truth is your own truth. They exist in your own world. The moment you can imagine something, it exists. And so this is how you create things. It starts, that's how we say, it starts with what you're thinking and what you're putting in, what you're believing. And so if you believe it, everything is possible, and you are going in there in your mind and in your daydreaming imagination world, and create something there, like something you want to happen, or a person you want to meet, or an opportunity, an adventure, or your life changing completely. That's the place to start. The more you see it, the more you align into its being. And so use your imagination. It's a powerful tool. Don't let anyone belittle you and telling you like, "Oh, you live in your own imagination." Remember them when they say that. Think, "Oh wow, I'm great. Then I'm in a good place." They just don't know that because they think imagination is just a place where you dream dreams. But your dreams are also a reality. We're going to talk about that. In other words, imagination is the initial sphere where we create things. So use it wisely. And when someone pisses you off or annoy you and you start imagining bad things, stop right there, because it's the same thing like cursing them. It's the same thing like hitting them. If you're imagining hitting someone, you'll basically hit them in a sphere that doesn't exist in this reality but exists for you. And that energy of thought was released and launched to the world. Those particles was moved. So watch what you're imagining, and try to imagine a beautiful, better world. Try to imagine love. Even if you don't have it in your heart right now, try to imagine opening your